live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Hey, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going live. Yeah, yeah, we going. Yeah, we going. Yeah, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line, we going live. From the 50-yard line. Hey.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hello.
I am Jarrett, the football genius Burgess. I
am Stephanie Fitzpatrick, aka the Advantage Coach.
And this is episode 159 of the Field to the Real podcast.
Moseying on.
Look, we're not too far from 200.
We're going to have to get to work on that party.
ASAP. Yeah.
Party. Because it's going to be a party this year.
Yeah.
We ain't going to be wind up COVID. Whatever is going on.
We was bound by COVID last time. So
yes.
Nah, we need to party this time.
It's a party.
And be in person.
In person. It's going to be a party.
Party in person.
Yes. For sure. I'm excited.
Yeah. All right. So with this Who's Really Right that we have today.
Yeah.
I know that you guys probably noticed that we do a lot of football and basketball.
I'm not going to apologize, but okay.
Me neither. But today we have a sport that we don't do as often. Right. We do it, but not as often.
Yes.
We're talking about tennis today.
Yeah. And
we actually have a couple other sports that you guys, may have heard of, but we don't talk about much.
Or may not have, because right. I would say I didn't know what it was.
We'll have it coming up soon, I'll say. I won't give you guys a date, but soon.
Yeah.
All right. So for this Who's Really Right, we know what's going on in Ukraine with Russia invading Ukraine and how not even just Russian athletes, but just the people of Russia have kind of had to pay the price for the choices of the Russian leaders.
Correct.
So one of the things that's happening now is that the tennis players in Russia, or the Russian tennis players, are not going to be allowed to participate in Wimbledon this year. Yeah. Now, the question is that fair? Yes. Is it fair to keep these Russian players out of Wimbledon and other,
Olympics, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
I can tell you one thing. They ain't kept Alexander Ovechkin out of hockey.
No, they're not.
and
won't.
The Capitals won't.
I was going to say, and won't, yes.
He's about the only bright.
As long as he keep doing what he's doing, they're not going to. No.
Yeah.
No.
So, Steph, do you think it's fair?
I do not.
You said no?
I do not.
Okay.
And I think you in your eloquent setup for this, Who's Really Right, kind of hit on why I don't think it's fair. Because these are individuals who, much like us in America, while we have a democracy and we claim to be able to vote and put people in places to do that's neither here nor there, to do things according to what we, the people, want, right? That's neither here nor there. That's not what this is about. I'm going to stay out of that. But that is the way it's supposed to be set up here. That is not the case for the Russian people. And so, and even for us, big decisions that happen that are international or that are on a broader scale, we really don't have any say. If the president decided tomorrow that he wanted to go to war, guess what? We're just going to war. Mm-hmm. We didn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
And so, to their defense, I feel like they're being punished for something that they had no choice in. Mm-hmm. Now, if you happen to be a tennis player who's vocal and sharing your political beliefs or your thoughts on even this war, then you're then putting yourself in this position to, you know what I mean, where you're not as you might be seen in a different light by people around the world, right? Whereas when it's not your fault, it's not your choice, you don't have anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. How do you get put in a place and in a space to be ostracized is what it is. It's being ostracized for something that you had nothing to do with. I'm over here, I just happen to be in this country of Russia. And I just happen to be a tennis player who's probably working my butt off to be prepared to even be at Wimbledon, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have anything to do with the politics, the war, any of that. And so how am I being punished for that? It's not fair to me. It's just not fair.
Well, thank you for setting up my argument.
I know, I saw you going like, yes,
So do you feel like if someone shared their views on the war and on Russia, that they should be eliminated for that?
You mean if they're Russian or anybody?
Russian.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's just if you share your views. I feel like if you are, if what you say could be taken as antagonistic or something to gaslight people. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like if you're gonna be somebody who's like, Putin is the best thing since sliced bread and everything, you know, like some people are about a certain person here in America, that everything they say is just gold and it's just the gospel, right? And so when you put yourself in that situation of saying, oh, everything Putin's saying is just right, everything he says is right, you know, all these other countries are trash, Ukraine should be out. Like if you are being vocal like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying anybody is, I'm just giving the example. But if that were the way that you were presenting yourself publicly, mm-hmm. I feel like that would be a problem.
So I think you just highlighted two issues, right?
Yes.
And one is free speech.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think people, when they hear free speech, mm-hmm. they hear that your speech is free of consequences.
Correct.
Which it isn't.
No, it's not.
Like you pay the price.
You have the freedom to say it, but
doesn't say it. But you know, you should be
aware.
You should be aware that there are consequences behind the things that you speak.
Right.
And so, one of the reasons why I feel like it is fair, it's unfortunate, but it's fair, is we can't go in and look at each athlete and say, what's your beliefs? Oh, you believe this? No. What's yours? Okay, yeah. I think the thing is that the issue is that they are attempting to put pressure on the Russian government mm-hmm. by saying like, hey, your athletes can't participate in these things. And so what these athletes would then do is go to their leadership and say, hey, listen, what you're doing here is costing us. Mm. And it's unfortunate that it has to be that way, but it's no different. Honestly, think about it. It is no different than us sanctioning the Russian government or the Russian people. So the financial sanctions that we put on them will affect everybody in that country. And a lot of those people do not share the same beliefs.
Right.
But in order to put pressure on that government, we had to sanction them. Yeah. And this is a part of it. And it really is. It's unfortunate.
It is.
It's unfortunate, but I won't even go so far as to say it's necessary. It has to be done.
I don't know.
I mean, if you believe that, and there are a lot of people who don't, if you believe that what Russia is doing is wrong, mm-hmm. because I'm gonna be well-rounded here. There isn't much difference between what Putin is doing to Ukraine and what we did to Iraq.
Wow. Okay.
Now, and I know that we're in America, and you know we get our
yeah,
you know our media who tells us how we're supposed to feel and how we're supposed to see things,
which is what they're doing in Russia. Yep, same thing they're doing in Russia.
Right.
Yes.
If like let's say what was it is it the 2004 Olympics? 2004 Olympics. If they say that, y'all invaded Russia and, Russia, excuse me, you all invaded Afghanistan and Iraq.
Right, Iraq, yep.
You guys can't participate. That'd be fair. Now.
It didn't happen, though.
It didn't happen because we are NATO. We are NATO. I know this, I'm so sure somebody's going to hear this and be upset with the way I'm speaking, but that's the reality of it. We are the defense of NATO. A lot of those countries need us to be protected.
We are the big wig kind of.
Yeah.
So, majority owner. If we talk about it, sports.
Exactly, the majority owner.
Yes.
So who was going to hold us accountable? So, as unfortunate as it is, and I know I would be upset if I was an athlete. I would.
I guess I'm only looking at this from that lens. If I'm an athlete, I'm training, I'm doing everything I got to do. I don't have anything to do with that. And again, to your point, no, I don't want y'all to be like what you believe. You don't believe? Okay. Because who am I to say what's right, what's wrong? Who's the person making that judgment? Right? So that in itself is a problem. But when you are being inflammatory, that is where it becomes an issue for me, right? If you are using your platform, because as an athlete, you have one, to push an agenda one way or the other. Like y'all just need, you can have an opinion and you can, you know what I mean? But I'll say this, I'm not even gonna say you can have an opinion and if you're going to push an agenda that the majority of the people in the world don't see as good, because that's where the gaslighting part comes in, right? Like you're going to incite things. People are going to be in the Wimbledon stands knowing that you feel that way, and they're going to be feeling some kind of way about you. And you might feel that or hear that, or you incense some stuff. So that is what I'm saying. But if you're not somebody who's being all vocal, even if you agree with Putin,
right?
But you're not out here vocally speaking about it. What does that have to do with your ability to play tennis?
To me, you know what I'm saying, and we have some of the most outspoken people in the world because of the freedom that we enjoy.
We do.
To me, it would have to be something extreme. You would have to be a Russian person saying something to the effect of kill any Ukrainian that you see. That's the only level of inflammatory, but your support for Putin, you know what I'm saying? Like we as Black people supported, what's his name? Bill Clinton.
Oh, I'm like, who? Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that crime bill, we got people who still, affected by that crime bill. And so it's just, it'd be hard to be like, no, yes, no.
No, that's not possible. Like that, like either you're going to let them over or you're not. And you're just going to have to deal with the consequences, basically. But and I did say, unless there's somebody who's being very vocal, but even they're gonna have to deal with the consequences of their freedom of speech, like you said. When they get to Wimbledon and people are booing you or letting you know how they feel about your response, then you just have to deal with that, right? But to deny them because they live in a country that they have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
It seems wrong. We can talk this all day.
Right.
It's funny. I had somebody say to me, "Are you all really a sports show?"
Right. Yeah. Because look, we looking at everything.
Like, you talk about everything. That's what they said. You talk about everything. Like, are you really a sport? We are, because we're gonna bring this back to the athlete. Is the point that the Russian tennis players are being punished for something that they didn't do? Mm-hmm. So you let us know who's really right. I don't think it's fair. Jarrett's like, it's a part of the pawn game we got to play in order to try to get somebody to decide to do what we want them to do.
Right. Right. It's unfortunate, but it's all political. It really is.
It is.
You know, I see this as kind of similar to what Olympics was it when the Germans weren't allowed to come? I think it was somewhere around World War II. The German team wasn't allowed to come because, you know, they were doing what they were doing over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
This is on par.
Yeah. Whoo, so much. Whoo, so much to unpack from that. Lord, it just sends my head into all kinds of stuff that's going on. So we'll just keep it moving.
Yeah. You guys let us know who's really right.
Put the cameras on me. 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 Put the cameras on me.